Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. First of all, I pay homage to Triple Gem, Buddha Dhamma Sangha. I pay homage to Bhanteji here, dear novices and dear friends in Dhamma. Today, I would like to share a sutta, the discourse of the Buddha about offense. When Buddha was residing, living in nearby Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, in Jetavana monastery, that time there were two monks who were quarreling, fighting. One of them had committed a transgression, an offense. Then he confessed his mistake, but the another monk did not pardon him. During that time, there were also some monks who were watching. And after some time, these monks went to the Buddha, where was Buddha staying. And on arrival, they paid their homage to the Buddha and sat on one side, and they reported to the Buddha that there were two monks who were quarreling, and one of them committed a transgression, an offense. But he confessed his mistake, but another monk did not pardon him. Then the Buddha said to those monks that, monks, there are two types of fools. One who could not cease, who cannot see his own mistake, who cannot see his own transgression, offense as offense, transgression as transgressions. And this is one, the fool, the stupid person, the unwise person. Then there is other unwise person is when a person confess his mistake, but he does not forgive to another fellow, to another person, then this is another unwise person. These are two kind of fools. Then the Buddha said there are two types of wise person. One who sees transgression as transgression, offense as offense. And there is another person who, when a person confesses his mistake to him and he rightfully pardon him. So these are the two people who are wise. Saying this, then the Buddha said about the God of King, God of Devas. He said that monks, once in the past, Sakka, the God of the Lord of gods, gladdening the Tava things of gods in the Sudamba assembly hall. On that occasion, he recited this verse. The Lord of gods said in this verse, like this: bring anger under your control. Do not let your friendship break. Do not blame those who are not worthy of blame. Don't speak divisive words. Anger crushes evil people just like a mountain crushes beings. So here in this verse, the Lord of God says that control your anger. Control your anger and do not break your friendship. Normally, the people, when they are in anger, they cannot see what is right, what is wrong. So Buddha said, before doing any evil action, just do it, take your time, do it after some time. We late in doing evil actions, he said this. Whenever we get anger, we should wait for some time, and then let us see. When you give some time to your mind, then the anger automatically, cease away, pass away. Just like we take breath in, breath out, we cannot control for a long time. Let it be in breath or out breath, we cannot control it. Similarly, whenever anger arises in our mind, it stays for some time, and it passes away. But the thing, we keep on remembering the past things, the past actions or past experiences. Holding things means like we remember them again and again. And holding things sometimes, like, we can also understand in a way like we cannot see the nature of things. We think that the emotions, the thoughts, whatever we are experiencing right now, they are there for forever. They are permanent. When we see the Dhamma, the natural phenomena in our mind, we come to experience that this anger arises, it stays for some time, and it passes away. So, normally we do some problem when we get anger. Anger itself a big problem, but again we intensified it. When we react, when we don't understand anger, then the intensity of anger grows more and more in bigger way. Then we make something very dangerous reactions or something very harmful reactions. It is because we don't understand the phenomena, we don't understand the emotion. When we understand this emotion, then we can give some time. Of course, we may not be able to see as soon as anger arises, we may not be able to see the arising of anger, but we can stay for some time. Let us say I get anger, or I get anger and I say myself, just wait for some time, just wait for some time. When we wait for some time, then we realize that the intensity of anger is reducing, and then we feel comfortable, we feel easy, and then we can get some clarity also. So that is why the Lords of God said that do not break friendship when you get anger. In anger, do not break friendship, and do not blame those who are not worthy of blame. Sometimes in a family, like some problem happened in the couple, between the couple, and they blame to the father-in-law, mother-in-law, and some other relatives for their problem, for their dispute. They think that their father-in-laws father-in-law is responsible for this dispute which happened between them. So when we contemplate like this, that whenever anger arises, of course we become blind. We cannot see the clarity. We clearly cannot see the things. But we have still a chance to give it a proper attention. When we pay attention rightly, then we have still a chance to see the things clearly. Or we can reflect on disadvantage of anger. Sometimes we have to satisfy our mind by reflecting disadvantages of anger, by telling to mind, oh, there are many disadvantages. Being angry, there are so many disadvantages, like we may have poor health, ill health, or we may lose uncomfort, we may lose comfort of mind, uneasiness. So this thing, when we recollect, then our mind is ready to accept, and we can lead our mind. Then we are able to lead our mind after recollecting the disadvantages of anger. Then the Lords of God said, don't speak divisive words. Like we should not speak divisive word. Like if there are friends, we should not make them enemies. During the time of the Buddha, there were not during the time of the Gautama Buddha. In the previous time, there were two very close friends. They were householders, and they used to visit monasteries. They used to meditate, and they used to take precepts, Panchasilas. They were together for many years in household life. As they were practicing Dhamma, finally they decided that they should ordain as a monk. They together ordained monk, and as they were friends before monk life, so they decided to live together, and they were very sincere practitioners of meditation. They used to practice meditation daily, and they were staying nearby a village where they get all the facilities by devotees. They used to go every day to the village for alms round, Pindapata. They gave very good rice and some food to have to eat. This is how they survive. Then there was a guest monk who came to this monastery. So they were very friendly. These two friends were very friendly. Whomever they see, they were very close to them. They greeted them very nicely, and they used to greet them in a nice way, in a pleasant way. Like in this similar way, they greeted they welcomed that guest monk to their monastery. So when that guest monk entered into the monastery, these two friends, the monks, took them to the village for alms round, for Pindapata, for food. So people were very devoted to these two very good monks, as they were meditators. So they had very good faith towards these two meditator monks. And now this guest monk was on alms round. He saw a great hospitality by devotees. He was highly impressed with their hospitality, and then a thought arose in his mind. He thought that it is so wonderful to be here, to stay in that monastery and to get hospitality from the devotees. But for me it seems like impossible if these two monks are still there in the monastery. So first I have to make them enemy, and I have to create some conflict between them, and I have to kick them out from the monastery. So such was the planning he was doing during the alms round, as he was highly impressed with the devotees, with their great hospitality. Then somehow he created this conflict between two friends. He visited to the elder monk, the senior meditator monk. He was out of the room. The senior elder monk saw him and he asked, "What happened, Venerable guest monk? What happened?" Then he made some planning that he said, "Your friend was saying that you are not a good monk, you are a fake monk, you are pretending to be a good monk," like that. Then the senior meditator monk was not agreed, and he said, no, it is impossible, we were together since many years. Then that guest monk said, there is nothing my personal business. I just, whatever I heard from him and whatever he was speaking, I came here to report you. Somehow he convinced the elder meditator monk, and then again he visited to the junior meditator monk. Same thing he explained him. Then he made this conflict between them, and then these two great friends, even they had such a great problem, they could not come together and discuss. They did not discuss anything about whatever happened or whatever reported by the guest monk. They agreed whatever said by this guest monk. Then they took their own way in different directions. They went away in different directions. Now this guest monk took in chargeship of that monastery, and early in the morning again he went to the village for alms round, for begging food in the village. Then the devotees were asking, "What about those senior meditator monks? Where are they?" Then this guest monk said that they were fighting whole night and they went away from the monastery. Now, having said this monk was in comfort in the monastery, but in the end of his lifespan, as he was growing, aging, he had this great remorse in his mind that he divided two friends with divisive words. So he had this lamentation, remorse, and restlessness of mind. He could not sleep all night. He was very confused. So he passed away with this thought, with this remorse, and reborn in lower existence of the world where there is lots of suffering. Then he also, before passing away, he shared these things with the devotees, and that those friends were very, very good friends. I made a great mistake with these divisive words, and I made them divided, and I broke their friendship. He said this and passed away and remained somewhere in the Duggati, in the suffering world. So here we can see, according to the words of the Lord of Gods, he said that when you are in anger, you should not speak divisive words. You should control your anger. Whatever we do in anger, that will be harmful for us and harmful for others. So that is why we should not speak divisive words. Then he says that anger crushes evil people, like those who get anger. He said that those who get anger is evil people, evil men. So whenever there is anger, if a person can contemplate it, if a person can see it very clearly, then he can manage the anger wisely. Now, when unwise person get anger, then they cannot control over anger. They can break friendship, or they can blame the worthy. They can blame those who are not worthy of blame, and they can divide people. So to such person, the anger crushes, the anger kills them, harms them, like the mountain crushes beings. So here, after saying this gatha, the Buddha is narrating this gatha as the Buddha had divine eyes. He can see the devas, Brahmas. So he had that vision to see the history of the devas or human beings. So according to his visions, he gave this talk to the monks who were discussing, who reported to the monks that there were two monks who had some problem, and other monk committed an offense. Then other monk did not pardon him on that particular offense, on that particular problem. The Buddha gave this discourse. So with this small talk, I would like to conclude here with the best wishes and with the blessings that may you all be happy and peaceful. May you all be safe from dangers and accidents. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Venerable Jinavamsa, for the Dhamma talk, and I hope all of us have benefited from the talk today on the offense and anger and division and so many other things involved in this talk, you see. So the irony is, even as a monk, you see, when as a monk he could not come out of anger. So you can understand how strong anger can be, you see. And anger need not necessarily be like a strong emotion, but it has those subtle elements like jealousy, irritability, disliking, all these, there are subtle aspect, subtle element that goes. If you look in the story about the division, so you can see that he could not sort of tolerate or digest the friendship that they have seen, that he saw maybe. So that's the reason we are supposed to practice mudita. Mudita. Mudita is altruistic joy, appreciative joy. It is to actually be happy in others' happiness. You see, we should develop that mind which becomes happy in others' happiness. So that's something we need to train, because that will make us much more happier. Okay, so this is something that we need to practice. So we need to somehow train ourselves to be happy in someone else's happiness. Whatever it may be, we should be happy. And also one of the things you can see in the story is that this craving, or unhealthy desire to that the guest monk had, this unhealthy desire to just take away things from others, you see. So of course we need to have good desire, but something unhealthy desire, and to, he could have just enjoy, that monastery, that hospitality or whatever, but he wanted to just have it for all himself. But at the end he didn't have anything. He died very miserably and was reborn in a lower world. So that's the reason I think there is a connection between your greed and anger, or greed and this idea of anger or disliking maybe. So this is something we can see in this story, and also about asking for forgiveness and also forgiving, you see. So we all in some way or other do something, maybe something that hurts other, intentionally, unintentionally. We do things, say things that might hurt somebody. So then we need to realize that, and we need to ask for forgiveness. And then if someone is asking for forgiveness, we need to forgive them. We need to also forgive them for their mistake, you see. So both way, asking for forgiveness and forgiving, these two things is very, very important. It actually helps us to grow, because as an unenlightened being, so we all are unenlightened, so we do get into some of the mistakes or negativity or lack of peace or whatever, it does happen, but then realizing it and trying to improve it is something that we can do. That's something we need to do. And if we don't, then Buddha has mentioned that we are fool. We can be fool. Is if we don't accept our mistake and we don't ask for sorry, for forgiveness. Okay, so with this we come to the conclusion of today's Sunday evening, and as you know, many of you may be not knowing, this is every Sunday program, 6 o'clock, so you are all welcome to join. You're all invited to come and join. Okay, so with this we come to the conclusion. We thank all of you for coming and joining and listening and with us today here and in this spiritual practice today. So we wish all of you good health, happiness and joy and peace. We wish that all of you grow in Dhamma, in peace, in stability, in happiness, and may all your wishes be fulfilled. And now let us wish for the happiness of all the beings and conclude. Sukhe bhave yamne dukha aham necham aham viya hita chame sukhe hunto majata jata verino ima amaketam he satahunto sukhe sada tato paranchara jeso chakavale sujandano sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, see you next Sunday.